Hi everyone. I'm back. It's been a quick second, but here I am. I'm back. Now I know I said I wasn't gonna make any more college videos after I graduated. Um, and newsflash, I graduated, so that's great. But I don't have my bachelor's degree in my hand yet, so kind of a loophole to that. Also, I've just been so busy, and I really don't want to not comment on the comments that I got, because I mean you watched my video, so obviously I'm going to oblige by you and talk about what you asked me to. Acha, I think is how I pronounce your name. If I'm wrong, let me know. But you asked about international students and also how people perceive the foreigners who come to UC Riverside, and especially Muslim students. So I want to answer a few questions about, talk a little bit about that. Probably be kind of quick because I am not an expert on the international students here at UC Riverside, but I do know a little bit of things, and I also looked up some stuff. So I'll let you know that. But also I will say that this is one of my last videos on college, so get to know the fact that I won't be saying this no more soon. Just kidding, just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I would just want to let y'all know that this is one of my last videos on college, at least consecutively, because I'm moving on and I'm trying to start my life and live a life, and you'll get to see that because if I actually upload videos, and just see me talking and just see me, because I feel like these videos are very helpful to me to look back on how I was thinking and how like I might change over the years. Like in 5 years, I'm gonna be so grateful that I recorded these videos, because I get to see how it was as a 21-year-old student, you know. But yeah, enough of that chat, because you came here to learn about international students and Muslim students and how you're perceived, maybe some of the resources they have. So let me let you know. I'll start off with the resources, and if I'm looking down, that's because I'm looking at my notes. So UC Riverside has about 7.8% or 8% ish of their student population as international students. So not too small population considering. And they're pretty well supported. I'm under the impression because you get to have your own advisors. You can seek advising about all that paperwork you gotta file, your financial aid. I will say that you're going to have to spend more money, or at least your tuition costs more than in-state students or like regular students who are not international students, because you're international and just have to pay international fees and things. So that's something to think about if you're just getting started on your journey as thinking about studying in the US of A. But you get to study in California and meet a bunch of people. So that's one of the great things about, studying internationally. Um Resources, yeah, like I said, there's going to be advisors that you can tap into. And then there's so many clubs on campus. There's clubs everywhere, and I believe that there's international student clubs, and just different interests you might have, you can find it. So you're not gonna feel. I don't think you're gonna feel isolated, because also, um, there's so many different type of people on campus, and our international students seem to find each other when they're in classes, and they almost like form coalitions, because they're like, oh, you're not from here, I'm not from here, let's get together because I need someone to talk to you about the foreignness of these Californians. Okay. um but yeah, that's a little bit about the resources. I would say also, like, a lot of the Muslim students are Middle Eastern students as well. So there's a Middle Eastern Student Center that you can access. And that is very helpful, because not only is it just like a center advising and like resource center, you also have access to all the clubs that are underneath there. So there's a lot of Middle Eastern student clubs that you can join. Um, I will also say that if you're a woman, if you, whatever your gender is, like, we have resource centers for all. So if you, I keep saying we, like, I gotta adjust to that because I'm no longer a UC Riverside student. UC Riverside has resource centers for all. So you'll be able to find something that suits your interests and suits your identity. And that's going to be helpful. So tap into all the resource centers. As far as housing goes, I will say there used to be something called the International Village, and it was there when I got there, but I looked it up again. It seems like it's gone. So we don't have anything particularly from UC Riverside that's directly geared towards international students housing, but there is stuff around UC Riverside that is mostly international student housing. There's like things that are literally called international stuff. Um, but it's just not directly due to UC Riverside. I noticed that a lot of international students tend to live off campus. Like for instance, in my apartment, I had two Chinese roommates and well, flatmates, because we had our own rooms. But I had two Chinese roommates, and they were international students, obviously. And so that was cool. But also on my way to school, I knew there was a lot of students who were international because there was like a little apartment complex. I think that was when International Village was still running, and students would come out on the sidewalk right where the exit was, and they'd be speaking in all sorts of different languages. And I'm like, oh, yep, those are the international students. So if you're looking for that, we got that support system as far as housing. It's pretty affordable too compared to the rest of California prices. Maybe not compared to rest of the US, but compared to California prices, it's pretty cheap. Okay. Also, great resource for international students is the free transportation. The fact that you can have free, you can be in the bus for free, and you can take it all the way to Orange County, which is near Disneyland. And that's great for international students. So, yeah. Anything else I can think of? There's not much else that I know and I'm knowledgeable about. But I will say the campus climate, say that I don't think there's any animosity towards international students. I think international students are a lot of times trendsetters. They were wearing masks before anybody else was wearing masks. Okay. I think international students just, they can do, I think the campus climate towards international students is fine. I think that there's a very diverse student population, and so if there's any problems with international students or Muslim students, that's a you problem, as in it's an individualistic problem, but it's not like the campus as a whole is like, I hate international students. But yeah.
I also wanted to note really quickly that I didn't touch on any institutional climate or like what the institution feels about international students because I'm speaking from a student perspective. So there might be some issues in the institutional area, but I just am not covering that right now. And so if y'all wanted me to do a video where I research a little bit more about the institutional climate of international students, I'll gladly do so.
So I hope this informed you a little bit about international student life. I'm not quite sure if it did. Again, I'm not an expert, and I will be transitioning out of this. But I did want to give you some information because there's barely any videos out there about international student life, and I just want to tell you some more stuff. If you got questions, put them in the comments. I'll answer to the best of my ability. I have access to the information still. Everybody does, but I know how to find it. So if you have more questions, write it down in the comments section, por favor. Gracias. And yeah, I'll be seeing you on my next video, probably my last one, and then you shall see what comes next. Thanks for watching.